Hey guys, it's Wednesday, May 9th. Welcome to Healthy Scratches. A rare day off in the scheduling of NHL playoffs as we, of course, await Game 7 tomorrow night. But we're going to break down the Eastern Conference Final as we know that, of course, is the Washington Capitals, Tampa Bay Lightning, and Capitals riding high on those emotions. It's like they basically won the Stanley Cup. We don't know yet if PFT has or has not eaten horse poop yet.
A lot of people are asking about if I'm going to eat poop. I never actually said I was going to eat poop.
Yes, you are.
Oh, yeah. I never actually said I was going to eat poop. I don't know where this is all. It's a bunch of fake news, bad journalism on everybody else's part. But it's pretty clear we're going up against a real hockey town now in Tampa. None of this like rinky-dink Johnny-come-lately Pittsburgh stuff. Fair weather bandwagon fans there. So I'm a little bit concerned about just going up against all the history and tradition in Tampa Bay as far as their hockey team goes. But I'm thinking,
what's that smell?
I'm thinking,
Smells like poop.
I'm thinking caps and 4.
No more shrinky dinks. No more shrinky dinks.
I was gonna say caps and 5, but caps and 4.
They're not gonna let him get away with this.
No
He's gotta
chance.
eat shit, man. He just has to.
Yeah, like he has to. So that we'll keep a close eye on that. But then for Tampa Bay, in my opinion, you make it to the conference finals 3 of the last 4 years, you got to win this series.
Yeah, I think they've loaded up. I think their roster is about as tuned up as you could get. They're deep on forwards. They have a loaded defense, and they finally, not finally, because Ben Bishop was good, but Andre Vasilevsky has been an absolute stud for them. This is the year for them, I think. Or else, what else are you gonna do?
It's almost the
they've
opposite
maxed out.
of when we said yesterday. I was saying how the Penguins were put in a situation so often of having the same situation year after year after year that at some point, it wasn't going to go their way. I feel like it's the opposite for Tampa Bay. You were put in the situation, 3 out of 4 years. At some point, the right thing's going to happen for them. They have the right team. They have the right makeup. They have the right, strategy going in. They're firing on all cylinders, like you said. Goaltending's hot. Power play's off the charts. Guys are scoring. I mean, Tampa Bay has to be the faraway favorite.
They have to because Steven Stamkos, Victor Hedman, Nikita Kucherov, these guys got to do something with what they have.
And they made moves during the season to make sure that they win the Stanley Cup this year.
Yeah, JT Miller too has been a huge addition.
They went out. They got JT Miller. They got Ryan McDonough.
Right, all the Rangers guys.
Right, and I mean they
could win a Stanley
Cup
Cup
forfeit
this year.
a lot of their future to do that too. I mean, the Rangers got some good pieces from
somewhat,
them.
but they still have prospects.
They do have prospects, but I mean, there is no denying that they went all in this year to make sure that they bolstered up their team so that they could just get over that hump this year.
And they've kind of quietly been going through the playoffs with Tampa Bay Lightning. They've only had 2 losses in their first 2 rounds.
It's crazy.
Just sort of like sneakily
It's
going.
that warm weather hockey. Like we just don't.
And the Devils and Bruins, people picked them to win both series.
Right.
It's not like those were
I
rollover
think
teams.
maybe all of us are.
Yeah, I might have picked the Devils.
Yeah,
definitely.
we thought the Devils were going to beat Tampa.
Just something about Florida. It's like even though all the players are from like Canada and like fucking Europe, we just think of Florida as like a team that just
I don't know. I think like if they were in like Montreal or something, this would be one of the most like popular teams going on because they're just loaded, dude. Kucherov is so fun to watch. I think also the biggest key to this series is like a lot of the decors that Washington has faced. Obviously, Seth Jones and Werenski were great, but I think the Penguins in this last round made a lot of mistakes defensively as far as turnovers and like bad pinches. I don't think that's going to happen this series, and now it's like
stack couple deep hands.
Yeah, they're going to have to like generate offense and a little bit tighter of like look at the game 3 versus Boston where they just suffocate them. Can Ovi will that shot still be effective? If they're coming up and stick on puck at like the blue line, who knows?
Right.
I mean, Hedman's a big, long defenseman.
You mentioned offense. Not necessarily sure about the status of Nicklas Backstrom for the Capitals. Didn't play Game 6. Is not on the ice currently right now while we're filming this for morning skate. That would be a big loss for them, although they were able to do it without him in that elimination game against
It's a big loss, especially if it's over a period of time because he's such a key part to their power play. You talk about Ovi being on the dot, and the only reason it really works as much as it does is because you have a guy like Nicklas Backstrom who's able to thread the needle to get it to him, or, if they shift everyone over to Ovi, he can just put it in himself. He's just as skilled of a player. So
yeah, I think also as far as Tom Wilson coming back, could that have a different aspect when we look at how comfortable Tampa's been in these games? Obviously, they won 4-1 both series. That's a sign to me of a team that's in control and comfortable. Tom Wilson's a guy that's going to make them uncomfortable. If he starts blowing
especially
people
on the
up,
penalty kill, he'll bolster that.
If he starts blowing people up, it's like maybe they're going to get rattled off their game. They play a very skilled game, so I wouldn't expect them to try to go toe-to-toe with him. But you never know. Like that's the value of a guy like that. Will he come back kind of neutered after this suspension and be kind of like not trying to hurt anyone, or will he go right back to his game?
He might be. I think to that point, you get Tom Wilson back, very emotional with them getting past the Penguins. Would you prefer to be in that mindset versus being sort of cool and calculated like Tampa?
I don't know. I think that if they're going to do it, they're just going to have to keep to what got them there. I think Tom Wilson's going to have to keep running, gunning, maybe not headhunt people, but try to still play his
physical.
game. Yeah, I think you have to.
Too many emotions to play with on the Washington side. It's like now we're already talking. Is Tom Wilson going to come back the way he usually does? Is he going to be neutered, like you're saying? Is he going to be a little self-conscious of when he's going into like the boards now? Is this suspension always going to be in the back of his mind? I think that's just a little bit too much to deal with as opposed to Tampa Bay just playing their game.
Right.
Tampa Bay just going to just go out and just play their game and probably dominate.
And
that's what they've been doing.
There's no narrative for them as far as like this big hump or all this stuff. It's like they're just here calculated, cold, just trying to win a Stanley Cup. So it's I think that's definitely an advantageous point of view.
You mentioned being neutered, and it looks as though Boston's Brad Marchand kind of lost his balls in this scenario. He apologized for licking, which was not the narrative I thought was going to pan out. He said today, "I've got to cut that shit out." For Boston fans, they were really rallying behind him, kind of being this shit disturber. Now he's saying, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. And I think 99% of hockey fans, if you aren't a Boston fan, would agree.
I mean, a lot of Bruins fans were mad at me yesterday for my take. RA was mad. Obviously, I don't know like the intricacies. Like I guess the one reporter he called a pig is like completely hated by all Boston fans. That's like something that you don't know. It also
sounds like every media person might be in that
somewhat, but like who's the guy for the Rangers? Brooks or whatever?
Brooksy.
But everyone, don't people hate him?
John Tortorella hated him. I don't know
John
if
Tortorella
everyone
hated everyone in the
Who did he get into the fight with? Girardi or someone after the season?
Oh, you're right. He
whatever.
did.
The guy went off on him, but then at first it's like, the player's being an asshole. Then you find out later it's like, this guy's a douche the whole season. So I get it. Obviously, I understand now more, and I did go back, as RA said, there was a lot of instances of Marchand like lighting people up during the season, so I wasn't aware of that. But I mean, I think as far as what he's saying, obviously Cam Neely or someone had to talk with him being like, yo, this is not sustainable.
It's just a bad
what it sounds
look. Like it just because it kind of looks shady, it's weird. It
goes against everything he's trying to build his reputation around,
Right.
I mean, you don't lick guys on the ice if you don't want to be the pest and be the bad guy.
Like, it's an easy way out.
It is, but I also think someone talked to him. Like, I think they said, hey, man, the media was hounding Brad Marchand, saying they should have traded him. They were saying they should have traded him, like, a year. No matter, even with his production. Wild. We were talking about with fights. It's like, the guy's one of the best production guys, offensive guys you have, and you're going to say that you need to trade him because of, his reactions on the ice. It means nothing to the way he's producing on the ice.
I just think it's an easy way out for him to be licking people. Like, he's good at getting under guys' skin. Stick to that. Don't go kissing.
To my point with all year he's been dealing with this media hating on him, I think Cam went up to him and was like, hey, man, like, we need you to, like, kind of just take a step back for a second. And if you're a fan of Brad Marchand, I think you're pissed off right now that he took that step back.
Because
you want him to be all in.
He doesn't have to take a step back. He could have just been appeasing people for now. I mean, it's the off season. Who knows?
Stuff like,
kind of get the attention.
The problem is,
I just think you can't go on that Twitter rant yesterday. You can't lick Ryan Callahan in the face, and then the day you get eliminated and you clean out your locker, you're like, oh yeah, I gotta take a look in the mirror. I can't be doing shit like that. It's like just yesterday you were saying you're going off on everyone, saying how like you should have been doing that. And that's you're the bad boy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say with like the Twitter thing. Is like it looked a little bit of like a weird move to be like licking people, and then when people comment on it, lighting like. But obviously I didn't know if that dude's like annoying.
He's
like mentally unstable right now.
I
think if he's doing it himself, if he got told to do it, I think it's. Whatever, he's going through protocol. I think everyone has to do it. But
I think he knows what the right thing is, but he also loves playing on that line and agitating people because it is effective. So I think that's kind of where he runs into the like which guy do I want to be type thing. Right. But the problem with this kind of stuff is like look at like Crosby when people were saying he's whining and diving and stuff. That followed him for years. People still say it, even if it's like he hasn't specifically had a thing in multiple years. This licking thing could be his like MO for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it could follow him for the rest of his career, and just, You hate to see that.
Especially casual fans are just, oh, that's the guy that licks someone.
Well, Crosby threw the water bottle on the ice last year.
You can't put Marchand and Crosby in the same situation.
No.
I'm just saying, like, reputations of people, like, it sticks longer
One
than...
or two instances can carry on.
Right,
forever.
like, was it worth, like, maybe agitating him for, like, 2 games, whatever, versus, like, being known as the guy who licks something to casual fans forever? I don't know.
Regardless of what he says, he is a douchebag. He is a pest on the ice. He's an asshole. He obviously is an asshole to the media. Whatever happened in a closed-door meeting as they're cleaning out their locker, he just came out and just said it. Like, I'm convinced now, the more we talk about it, he's just had to, like, save face with his,
it's
the
like
ownership
he got in trouble
and the GMs
with the principal in a way.
Right. Because if not, like I said, then he's a mentally unstable person if he's going on these highs and lows on his own, which I don't think is the
But
case.
I mean, it does say something to Boston fans. Like I said, anything about him yesterday, they were furious. Like, these guys love this dude. I don't know why they would trade him. They're like the ones that
he can't go
have his
anywhere
back.
No, he is Boston.
Right.
He is all of them in one.
They are the only ones that can love him.
Yeah.
The whole NHL hates him. Only people that love him are
That's the only place
Boston
he could go.
Bruin fans.
Interesting moment in an AHL game. Texas and Tucson were facing one another in the playoffs, and so on this play, which we can show because it's not NBC, whatever.
Oh, nice.
So 2 Tucson players, they like collide with one another, and then Brian Flynn, who has the puck, the one
Canadians
guy gets,
legend. No, Lawson Krause, I believe, hit him.
one guy gets hit in the face with the puck.
Yeah, Dakota Murmis.
Okay.
I grew up watching this kid in St. Louis. He was younger than me. He was a huge stud. Everyone was like, Dakota Murmis, this guy's sick. Now he's in the AHL. He's played a few games with the Coyotes. Gets drilled in the face. Brian Flynn scores. But what kind of St. Louis grit do we have here, Frankie? He came back and scored later in the game on another St. Louis guy, Mike McKenna. That's what you expect from a guy.
There's a lot of St. Louis. Wait, the guy that got hit with the puck in the face ended up scoring.
Yes, later in the game.
That's a real
I believe they lost in overtime, but that's
they did.
big.
They lost in overtime.
Yeah.
But like, so on that play though, I mean, like, this is a shit play for Tucson.
Yeah, it's
like,
tough because,
what if
like,
they blow the whistle at that point?
My favorite part of the play was the announcer. He's just like, and there's a loose puck in front of the net. Like, he just completely didn't even acknowledge that guy just got murdered in the face.
This is Hintz in quickly as he'll diagonal it down to the middle of the Tucson zone. Loose in front. Flynn, a quick shot, score!
Like, I was expecting, you know that guy like Bob Meneray on Instagram where he like changes all the announcers? I was expecting the announcer to be like, holy fuck, he takes one right in the mouth.
Yeah.
Like, how do you... I laughed out loud when I heard the announcement because, I mean, the guy died on the ice.
He did. He got shot.
He got shot right in the face, and then they just cleaned it up, and, like, you know, the puck was just sitting there, and the goalie's like,
that's
oh,
tough.
shit.
That's
tough, man. I don't know what the rule
weird.
is. Actually, one of my friends, Brady Shaw, one time hit a kid from behind. The kid was lifeless on the ice, and he dug the puck out of it. It was in his stomach and went and scored.
Blow the whistle?
And they almost murdered him. The crowd was like throwing
How are they
things.
not blowing the whistle in that?
I have no, like these, I don't know what the rule is specifically when you get hit with the puck and then it's sitting there. It's like, if you're Brian Flynn, he's like, well, the puck's there. I gotta put it in.
You gotta pounce on it.
Is there any worse feeling than laying on the ice if you just got hit in the face with a puck and then hearing the goal horn go off right behind you?
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
tough.
There's nothing you can do.
Like,
he can't, like,
God
get up.
damn.
He's gushing blood all over his face and try to go make a play.
Like
Tough.
he said, he came back and scored.
Yeah.
That's all
It came back. That's the St.
Put
Louis
in
guy
a
right there.
great
And Ryan
effort.
McKenna's, my little brother's on the team too. Crazy.
Wow.
We got a lot. It's like the
YP
whole team.
connections there.
Tucson Roadrunners, I'm a big fan.
More so my connections are like Chandler Stevenson, used to cover him.
He's pretty good, man. That kid is like...
Vasilevsky, like all these guys I know from, because I'm so much older than you guys.
No.
I'm like 20 years older than you
These are
guys.
just dudes that were younger than me that I knew from in St. Louis. I didn't cover them. I know who Vasilevsky is. He's like 93, is he?
Yeah, that's like when you guys were born?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you guys born
What's wrong with
93?
that?
Yeah.
No!
No, I'm born 92, but I'm just saying, like...
Wow.
I mean, I may look like I was born in 99.
1999,
You
yeah.
do.
Just
Get
like
carded
you guys.
for rated R movies.
It's sad.
That's wild.
to be like
Okay,
15.
I was born in the 80s, so...
I'm totally never supposed
We're
to
all
ask
in
a
the
girl
same,
her age.
we're
I don't know
all
if
in
we're
the
allowed to talk
same
about
situation.
this.
Yeah, I don't
We
want to talk about... You don't say
What are
that.
the rules of like talking age with like women? I don't know.
No,
I'm
it's
just
fine.
not gonna do it.
I'm 31. I don't care.
Hey, you just celebrated a birthday.
I didn't say it. I didn't ask.
Wifey, your face is like, yikes.
Well, I just know women sometimes can be
No,
sensitive
if I
about
was like
how old
maybe
they are.
50 or 60, I'd be like, trying
Still
to
young.
hide it.
31's the new
Still
18.
Yeah,
That is true.
30s are the best time of your life, they
There you
say.
go.
True.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's it.